Tears of the Kingdom is exactly 50 days away from launch, or at least it is at the time this video is going live. And in honor of hitting the 50-day mark, here's a list of 50 things to look forward to in Tears of the Kingdom. Seeing how Hyrule has changed, seeing how Hyrule has stayed the same, exploring the Sky Islands, exploring caves, traversing this game's dungeons, even if they're not the way we expect them, using new items, creating new items and weapons, creating vehicles, even if this isn't my favorite point, it's still something to look forward to, combat, how it's remained the same, and how it's improved, discovering the purpose of these land murals, figuring out what this windstorm is, learning why there's malice shooting out of Death Mountain, figuring out what this dust storm is, or if it's not a dust storm at all, obtaining new outfits for Link, seeing changes to old enemies and figuring out why they've been implemented in the first place, discovering and fighting new enemies. Even if they're not new to the series itself, they're certainly new to this Hyrule. A new Blood Moon, utilizing this strange object time reversal ability, utilizing this new form of magnesis, if you will. Discovering what other abilities we gain when Link obtains his new hand. Fixing the Master Sword in probably the most disheveled state it has ever been. Unveiling the story of this entire game. That's a big one for me. Ganondorf's revival as a whole. Working backwards a little bit, but entering into the scene where we discover Ganondorf below Hyrule Castle. Possibly finding out why Zelda cut her hair. Let's be real, we might not find out at all. It might be the game starts and that's just it. Her hair is short. No reason. Discovering what exactly is powering this hand. Magic? Something from another realm? Technology? Learning what this strange creature is at the end of the third trailer, who seems to be holding the hand of whom we believe to be Zelda, or a former Zelda. Dissecting the cave art. Seeing how the Zonai are represented in this game and if they have a much bigger purpose, which I personally believe they do. Interacting with old characters. Interacting with new characters. The music. Ugh, the best part. Going back to these ancient tech labs in both Hateno and Akkala for hopefully new purposes. On that same note, discovering what these tentacles are all about. Learning why Ganondorf was trapped where he was in the first place. Figuring out who this figure is. Even if it turns out to just be Zelda, it's still something to look forward to because her surroundings are pretty mysterious and I am quite curious. Learning what happens to Zelda when she falls. I mentioned the hand already, but I was only referring to what was powering it. Something else to look forward to is figuring out whom it belongs to. Maybe getting some new food recipes. The potential of our champions returning again, even if we don't directly interact with them, but learning more about them for scenes from the past. The possibility of learning about the past, like the ancient past, 10,000 years ago past. I have a good feeling this is going to be uncovered to us and I am beyond excited. Seeing what other weird, unused ideas Nintendo had that will now be implemented into this game. Discovering the purpose of these weird red towers. Learning what exactly these blue flames or wisps are. Learning what these long, cloud-looking things are. Discovering what this little golden ball of energy is that we saw from the delay announcement. Exploring the new lettering and potentially getting actual translations. I know we've already gotten a lot of potential translations thus far, but even the people doing all of that work recognize that it's not exactly perfect yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing what people figure out. These giant doors, figuring out what's behind them and why we come through them. Learning what the significance of dragons are in this game. They certainly have come up a lot, especially in the title's logo. It might not be an exact Ouroboros as it's two dragons eating each other's tails, but clearly it does have significance. Hence why I put it on this list. And finally, learning how it will end. I have a feeling this game might have a much grander and more depressing ending than any previous Zelda game, and I am here for it. So that was my list of 50 things we can be looking forward to as we await these last 50 days, or less depending on when you watch this, to the launch of Tears of the Kingdom. Let me know which of these things you were especially looking forward to, or if there was anything you personally are looking forward to that I did not list. Comment all of those things down below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and joining the Geekdom by subscribing. I also do live streams once or twice a week. Sometimes they're community streams where you can play the games with me, so be on the lookout for those. Massive thank you to all of my channel members and patrons, especially those in the highly-end tier over on Patreon, such as Joking Batman, Geek Mom, McToppler, Lorulian Sheep, and Charles. And in fact, we've gotten quite a few new patrons in the past couple of weeks, and it has been absolutely wonderful. Thank you guys so much for your support. But anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for watching.